Chapter 41. And after that I saw all the secrets of the heavens, and how the kingdom is divided, and and how the actions of men are weighed in the balance. And there I saw the mansions of the chosen ones, and the mansions of the holy. And there my eyes saw all the sinners which denied the name of the Lord of spirits being driven from there and being dragged off, and they could not abide because of the punishment which proceeds from the Lord of spirits. And there my eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and of the thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds and dew. And there I saw from where they proceed in that place, and from where they saturate the dusty earth. And there I saw closed chambers, out of which the winds are divided, the chamber of the hail and winds, the chamber of the mist and of the clouds, and the cloud thereof hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. And I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, from where they proceed and where they come again, and their glorious return, and how one is superior to the other, and their stately orbit, and how they do not leave their orbit, and they add nothing to their orbit, and they take nothing from it, and they keep faith with each other in accordance with the oath by which they are bound together. And first the sun goes out and traverses his path according to the command of the Lord of spirits, and mighty his name for ever and ever. And after that I saw the hidden and the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before the Lord of spirits. And they give thanks and praise and do not rest, for their thanksgiving is rest to them. For the sun often changes for a blessing of a curse or a curse. For the sun often changes for a blessing or a curse, and the course of the path of the moon is light to the righteous, and darkness to the sinners in the name of the Lord, who made a separation between the light and the darkness, and divided their spirits of men, and strengthened the spirits of the righteous in the name of his righteousness. For no master hinders, and no power is able to hinder. For he appoints a judge for them all the blah blah blah. For no master hinders, and no power is able to hinder. For he appoints a judge for them all, and he judges them all before him. Chapter 42. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Then a dwelling place was assigned to her in the heavens. Wisdom went out to make her dwelling among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place and took her seat among the messengers, and unrighteousness went out from her chambers. Whom she did not seek, she found and dwelt with them, as rain in a desert and dew on a thirsty land. Chapter 43. Hold on. Get a sip of water. Alright, a minute. Chapter 43. And I saw other lightnings and the stars of the heavens, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they listened to him. And I saw how they are weighed in a righteous balance according to their proportions of light. I saw the width of their spaces and the day of their appearing, and how their revolution produces lightning. And I saw their revolution according to the number of the messengers, and how they keep faith with each other. And I asked the messenger who went with me, who showed me what was hidden, "What are these?" And he said to me, "The Lord of spirits has showed you their allegorical meaning. These are the names of the holy who dwell on the earth and believe in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever." Chapter 44. I also saw another phenomenon in regard to the lightnings, how some of the stars arise and become lightnings and cannot part with their new form. Chapter 45. And this is the second allegory concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. And they will not ascend into the heavens, and they will not come on the earth. Hold on. Let's try this again. Chapter 45. And this is the second allegory concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. And they will not ascend into the heavens, and they will not come on the earth. Such will be the lot of the sinners who had denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are therefore preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day my chosen one will sit on the throne of glory, and will try their works, and their places of rest will be not innumerable, and their souls will grow strong within them when they see my chosen ones, and those who have called on my glorious name. Then I will cause my chosen one to dwell among them, and I will transform heaven and make it into a continuous blessing and light, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing, and I will cause my chosen ones to dwell on it. But the sinners and evildoers will not set foot thereon. For I have provided and satisfied my righteous ones with peace, and have caused them to dwell before me. But for the sinners there is judgment impending with me, so that I will destroy them from the face of the earth. Chapter 46. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool. And another being was with him, whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness, like one of the holy messengers. And I asked the messenger who went with me, and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was. Wait. And I asked the messenger who went with me and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was, and from where he was, and why he went with head of days. What's head of days? Side note there. And he answered and said to me, This is the Son of Man, who has righteousness, with whom dwells righteousness, and who reveals all the treasures of that which is hidden, because the Lord of spirits has chosen him, and whose lot has the preeminence before the Lord of spirits in uprightness forever. And this Son of Man, whom you have seen, will raise up the kings and the mighty from their seats, and the strong from their thrones, and will loosen their reins of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinners. And he will put down the kings from their thrones and kingdoms, because they do not extol and praise him, nor humbly acknowledge from where the kingdom was bestowed on them. And he will put down the countenance of the strong, and will fill them with shame, and darkness will be their dwelling, and worms will be their bed, and they will have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not extol the name of the Lord of spirits, and they raise their hands against the Most High, and tread on the earth and dwell on it, and all their deeds manifest unrighteousness, and their power rests on their riches, and their faith is in gods which they have made with their hands. And they deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they persecute the houses of his congregations, and the faithful who hang on the name of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 47. And in those days the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous will have ascended from the earth before the Lord of spirits. In those days the holy ones who dwell above in the heavens will unite with one voice, and supplicate and pray, and praise and give thanks, and bless the name of the Lord of spirits on behalf of the blood of the righteous, which has been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits, that judgment may be done to them, and that they may not have to suffer forever. In those days I saw the head of days, when he seated himself on the throne of his glory, and the scrolls of the living were opened before him, and all his host, which is in heaven above, and his counselors stood before him, and the hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been offered, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous had been required before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 48. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was exhaustible, and many fountains of wisdom were around it. And all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the righteous, and holy, and chosen ones. And at that hour the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days, Yes, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heavens were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff to the righteous, on which to stay themselves and not fall. And he will be the light of the nations, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart, and who dwell on the earth will fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate the Lord of spirits with song. And for this reason he has been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world, and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous, for he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of the unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits, for they are saved in his name, and it has been in regard to their life according to his good pleasure. In these days the kings of the earth and the strong who possess the land will have become downcast in countenance because of the works of their hands, for on the day of their anguish and affliction they will not be able to save themselves. And I will give them over into the hands of my chosen ones as straw in the fire, so they will burn before the face of the holy. They will sink as lead in the water before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them will be found any more. And on the day of their affliction there will be rest on the earth, and they will fall before them and not rise again, and there will be no one to take them with his hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. Chapter 49. For wisdom is poured out like water, and glory does not fail before him forevermore. For he is mighty, and all the secrets of righteousness and unrighteousness will disappear as a shadow and have no continuance. Because the chosen one stands before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, and his might to all generations. And in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit which gives insight, and the spirit of understanding and of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. And he will judge the secret things, that none will be able to utter a lying word before him, for he is the chosen one before the Lord of spirits according to his good pleasure. Chapter 50. And in those days a change will take place for the holy and chosen ones, and the light of days will abide on them, and glory and honor will turn to the holy on the day of affliction, on which evil will have been treasured up against the sinners. And the righteous will be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits, and he will cause the others to witness this, that they may convert and forego the works of their hands. They will have no honor through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet they will be saved through his name. And the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great, and he is also righteous in his judgment, and also in the presence of his holy unrighteousness will not maintain itself at his judgment. The unconverted will perish before him, and from now on I will have no mercy on them, says the Lord of spirits.